Well, this is my Yamaha TW200. I've done some lighting mods to it. I put a 4x6 LED high-low beam headlight on it. It's for a Kenworth, a couple other big trucks, but it's the same thing that's being sold for $120, bolt on. Me, I'm a little cheaper than that, so I bought one for $38, spent $11 on metal to fabricate a holder for it, and it came out reasonably well. The first holder, which is on here now, is more of a proof of concept than a permanent one. But it works pretty well, and it's aimed about where it should be. You can't really see much of a difference. It's right in the center, so I'll have to see it going down the road at night, but it looks like it's aimed pretty doggone close. So, I'm pretty happy with that. I did LEDs for the back, and I already have the resistors on them, and they're brighter than normal. And the ones on front here, they're LEDs too, same company. And I haven't put the resistors in on them yet, so it went back into hyper mode as soon as I put them in. But they're pretty bright. Hopefully it's as easy to do these as it was the ones in the back. Really, I was expecting to have to splice and everything, but no, they were a couple little sockets. You just pull them apart, and I soldered the wires onto one side of it, and then the other, and plugged them back in. I put some heat shrink tape on them and some dielectric grease. I coated them with dielectric grease and then slid the heat shrink over it and then shrunk that on, so actually they'll be more waterproof than they were originally from the factory. But I got those situated. I didn't exactly like how I did the wiring, so I redid that in back, and so none of it's running a span where it has to cross an open spot. It's all run up against the frame like it should be. But I'm gonna take this apart and get started on the turn signals. I don't think I'll jack it up. I think I'll just leave it like this. Okay, now I'm going to take this thing off. This light actually has kind of a cool feature. If I want to hook up the red wire that comes off of it and hook it to a switch, it will light this little eyebrow thing underneath it, and the center light will glow red. I'm sure that there's probably some statute about having a red light in front. It's not something you want to ride around with it on. Probably just for parking. And I really need to cut these bolts down. They're too long. Maybe I'll just go get some more. It can be half the size. threads anyways. Replace these with harder bolts. But it came with some mounting hardware when I bought it. These screws came with it, and there was a little plate, but it wasn't proper for the use I needed for it. But anyway, that's what I fabricated. A little bit crude, but so far it's effective. I'm going to have to round over some of these edges, and I need to probably cable tie some of those pieces in there. But let's see where this wiring is hooking together. And see what needs to be done with it. Okay, here's the wiring right here. There's two blue wires going into this, so I would imagine that's just the steady one, and we'll find out here in just a second. I might pull that out of there. Yeah, that's what that is. So that would leave negative ground. This is the blinker for the right side, and this is the blinker for the left side. And we'll go ahead and test that theory out too. And by golly, it is. So now what I got to figure out is, where am I going to put that resistor? But thankfully, it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to hook them up. Maybe even easier than the back. Okay, well, I found a place to mount them. They're out of the way. They're not going to interfere with anything. And yes, I used nylon ties on them. I know these get hot, but it's just for turn signal use. So no, they're not going to get that hot. If they do, they're actually in a spot where I could drill a hole and mount them. Okay, I covered everything with heat shrink tubing just to give it some protection from wear. Haven't shrunk it yet, but I'm about to. Move some stuff out of the way so I don't shrink it. These heat guns, they get really hot. Oh. Wow, I didn't want to do that. I had that all over the black plastic on it, or the heat shrink that came from the factory on those. That's going to be a tough place to get to. I don't know if I really want to, but I might go ahead and pre-shrink some of this stuff on here so it doesn't move off of that. That will still stay protected. These things do get wicked hot. Tell you what, I wish I would have sprung for the more expensive heat gun. Should have gone for the quarter cable, but this one's not bad. And it was cheap. Okay, that should keep things from sliding around. Man, that heat gun stinks. It's fairly new, so I'm sure it's still burning off, but man, does it stink. Yeah, that's not moving. Do the same thing over here. Okay, well, got those done. Now let's see what we can do here. You know, the easiest thing to do is just going to be to solder it on and shove that thing back up in the underneath that clear plastic. But I don't know how easy that will pull off of there. No, they don't. So maybe I'll just squeeze some. Actually, I think I need to cut the shrink wrap that's already on there solder the wire onto the back of that. And then put some more shrink wrap on it. I think that'd be the easiest.